What is good, guys? This is Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the SPY, the NASDAQ, the QQQs, and the indices, and break down some very important levels and very big things coming out for the week. Now, before I break anything down, before I talk about some very important levels that you have to watch for, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Make sure you take none of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, whether it's $1 or $100, it's up to you. You're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks, each valued at up to $3,000. And the best part is any could be a free Tesla share. It's a limited time offer. The offer ends in just 9 days. Make sure you check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So I want to remind everyone that tomorrow the stock market is going to be closed. We're not going to see the market trading in commemoration of President's Day. And I want to note this because look, even though the market will be closed, there are still very important things that will be going on. Now, I also want to note that when the market reopens, it's very likely the market is going to try to get a bounce and retest a very important level. And whether we break it or not depends on so many different factors. To start off, I want to break down what's been going on over the last couple of days. Looking at the options chain on SPY, we don't have as crazy of a week this week. We do have a lot of option expirations for Friday, but it's nowhere near as crazy as what we saw on last Friday, right? And then on top of that, the options chain really does not go too crazy until the 17th of March, right? I think we have quad witching on that day. So please be ready for that specifically. But besides that, I don't think the options chain manipulation is going to be as crazy. The only problem is what are the market makers going to try to do? Now, what's been going on in this market is we've been seeing lots of very volatile price action. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. Look at the last few days in the markets. It's been pretty crazy. There have been a lot of people maybe buying calls around this area. Then the market comes down, goes right back up, and then down and up, and it just destroys a lot of people's options going forward. The data makes it very hard for short-term options, especially when we're just bouncing back and forth like this. And the market makers know this. It's how they're trying to make money. Now, on top of that, the market makers also know that they could experience some pain if the market does start to tank very hard. That's because of the excess amount of puts that are out there, at least over the next couple of trading days, next couple of months. And I'm saying this because now the market makers are in a position where they're incentivized to try to keep the markets afloat. That's why this analogy between the bulls and the bears will work out very well, because the market makers are like the bulls right here. They're trying to push the market up. They're trying to hold the market up to not pay out all those options. And then we have big bears out there, lots of institutions, lots of shorts who are still piling in and trying to bring the market down. Now, retail sentiment is still more on the bullish side. They are still buying the dips and they have not capitulated just yet. But we are seeing an increase in fear because of the fact that we are seeing the Fed inciting lots of fear and other bearish catalysts. I want to note that for Tuesday, some PMI data, not really too much going on. It's not going to be that major, but I would say the later days will be even more crazy. On Wednesday, we have the FOMC minutes coming out. That's going to be very important for the markets because it's going to give us a good understanding of the Fed's policies. And in case the market did end up missing on something, this could change everything. I also want to note that for Thursday, we have initial jobless claims, more Fed speakers, and then finally, for Friday, we have PCE data. That's going to be a massive day. Remember, PCE is the preferred Fed measure of inflation, right? And that's going to be very massive for the markets as well. So what are the key levels to watch for on SPY? I believe we're going to get a bounce, and we're going to be fighting for this zone right here. I'm going to make the line very thick. The thick line right here, the 410 area is very key. I do believe we're going to try to fill the gap around this 408. There's no guarantee we actually break it, but even if we break it, the even stronger level of resistance is going to be 410. If you break 410 and you keep going, and we manage to actually hold this 410 to 412 area and we keep going, there is going to be a good chance for the bulls to step in and continue to try to push the market up even higher. But the market has been on a bit of a downtrend, and this is because of weakening momentum. Now, if we're going to turn bearish, I just want to note that the 404 level is very important because that was holding us up on Friday. If we get a rejection off this and we start coming down because of news, whether it happens on Monday, I'm sorry, Tuesday, maybe later during the week, right? You have to watch this 404 level. If it breaks below that, we could come falling all the way down to 400. We're going to likely bounce off 400 if that happens, right? Because we do have strong support around here as well. Now, if we get a bounce, we need to break above 404. We need to see the market come all the way back above 404 to continue to hold these levels. But if we bounce off 404 and we struggle to, I'm sorry, if we bounce off 400 and we struggle to break 404, right? If we come all the way down here, we bounce and we struggle to break this, it's going to be very bearish. All right. So if you're bullish, this is what you want to see. You want to see the market. I'm going to actually use the hourly time frame for this one. If you are bullish, you're going to want the market to essentially do this. You want the market to basically retest this zone and eventually break 410, remain up here, and there is going to be a good chance for the bulls, right? There is going to be a chance for them. If you're bearish, that's the 410 area that's going to be very key. If you're bearish, 400 is going to be key and how we react off 404. If we, bounce up like this and we end up just getting rejected, we have to hold 404. If we fail at 404, then 400 is next. And we have to hold 400. We're likely going to bounce off 400. I don't see us just like crashing below it unless the catalyst is really bad. We're likely going to bounce. And if there's going to be hope, we have to bounce above 404 back to like 408 or so in order for there to be hope for the bulls. But if the bears step in, previous support, which was 404, is going to become resistance. If it fails to break this level right here and we come all the way down, then we're going to likely fail at 400. That's going to be very bearish. All right. So the bullish would be breaking 410, holding this 410 to 412 area, then continuing to break out. A bearish possibility would be us failing around this area. Even if we just barely come close to 410 and we just can't break it, we start trending down, then 404 has to hold. If that fails, watch 400. If it bounces off of that, which it likely will bounce in the very beginning, we have to get back above 404. If it fails to do that, if it's just stuck at 403, 402, it's likely going to fail and come all the way down to this 395 to 390 area. All right, so these are the main two possibilities. These are some very important levels. I just wanted to call them out in advance just so you guys have the updates available. I also want to note that in the market, unexpected things could also happen. So please, please, please be ready. Big catalysts are yet to come. Finally, let me just talk about the triple Q. Triple Q is in a very interesting position. It looks like it might try to fill this gap. A very important level on the triple Q is actually going to be right about here, this 304 area, right about here, because you can see we've seen resistance and support around this area. If the triple Q could break this zone right here, I'm going to make this blue. If it could break the blue line and hold it, there's going to be some nice hope for the bulls. But if it fails, and we actually end up seeing it break below 300, it fails to hold 300. Maybe it gets a balance and it just ends up failing. If it does not hold 300, that's not going to be good news for us, right? And another important level is this like 298-ish area, 297 to 298. This is another important area. We have to also try to hold this. I don't know if it's going to hold if it does end up coming down there. So if you're bullish, you need to see a break and hold of 304. Then there's hope for it to keep going. If you're bearish, after it's going to likely fill the gap first anyways, but after this gap fill, if it starts coming down, it fails to hold 300. The last major support is around this 297 to 298 area. If that fails, this thing is going to come all the way down to 295, all the way down to like 290 or so, man. There's a lot of downside for it. And we are starting to see tech slow down, so it's a little bit concerning. I'm going to make my prediction in a video for tomorrow, but for today, I just want to note that you have to be prepared for these levels. We have lots of things coming out. The market makers might still try to fight on, but it looks like they're having a harder time trying to hold this market up. And it looks to me like the bulls are going to get ready to try to step in. This all could change depending on what levels we break on Tuesday. This all could change. But as of right now, please be ready, be prepared, and do what you have to do. I want to thank you all for listening. Have a great rest of the day. Enjoy the weekend. The market will be closed tomorrow, and I'll see you guys in the next one. The market to the moon because the long term future is still incredibly bright, and peace out.